some of you lot are making some horrible transfers in FPL Game Week 4, but we're here to help you guys. And when I mean horrible decisions, I mean horrible. Because the first player that you lot are transferring out is Ekitike. Ty, what are these lot thinking?
I don't have a clue. I don't understand the logic behind this. It's short and simple. They've got Burnley. They've got Everton at home. When you look at their fixtures on paper, I'm probably saying that these two runner games they've got now would be the two you'd be wanting to have your Liverpool assets for. I've got rid of Florian Wirtz, yeah, and it might work. Might work out and it bites me in the arse. However, when you look at Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Gakpo, Salah now, these are the two games that it must be a hold. It's simple as that. After that, then you can assess your options. But Ekitike, especially with Isak only getting 20 minutes for Sweden over the international break, he's guaranteed to probably start both games. And now we're on to another forward. It is Nottingham Forest, New Zealand international Chris Wood. Now, this guy always gets 10 league goals every year. And I always think on FPL, is he overlooked? He started okay this season so far, but when you put him in, sometimes he don't perform. And then when he doesn't go in, sometimes he does perform. Statman, is he a sell, wait, or hold? Arsenal away.
I know it's Arsenal away, but I feel like the Game Week 5 and Game Week 6 fixtures too good not to like wait at least with Chris Wood. And then Burnley in Game Week 5, Sunderland at home in Game Week 6. They like we always say target the newly promoted sides, isn't it? So for me, it has to be away. Of course, there's a lot going on at Forest with the Nuno situation. He's gone,
Yep.
Ange's come in. Ange's more of an offensive manager, but at the same time, I've seen people say, does Chris Wood necessarily fit the football that maybe Ange wants to play?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the question, but I think that's where it's probably a bit safer just to wait right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I would wait. Also, throwing in there, they've got the League Cup game against Swansea and the Real Betis away game in Europa League, which is going to be obviously big for the Forest fans traveling to Spain. I would wait. Obviously, Burnley and Sunderland are very appetizing fixtures, but I think for this week, save your transfer, especially when you're taking on an Arsenal defence.
Yeah, and I'll probably say if maybe Chris Wood doesn't start against Arsenal and Ange maybe starts with one of the other options, then Game Week 5, you're probably looking at Burnley and Sunderland. Maybe Chris Wood don't even play those. Then you're probably looking to take him out. But I think for now, you're going to have to wait.
I think for the next three, you have to hold.
So the next player is Kudus from Spurs. I think everyone knows I'm a bit on Kudus, but a lot of people in the FPL community like him. And you're one of them, Ty, aren't you?
I am, and I was, but I am concerned. If people didn't know and you're watching for the first time, like and subscribe. I went to the Tottenham-Bournemouth game. And one thing that was a plus was that Mohamed Kudus was one of the main guys when it came to that Tottenham attack. In the second half, he was getting the ball a lot on the right-hand side. However, his decision-making was poor. And what I really noticed as well in this Thomas Frank setup is that he really hugs the touchline. A bit similar to Mbumo. However, Mbumo has that directness to come inside and actually has finishing quality in him. Kudus, he doesn't quite have that end product yet. And I am worried that after 2 or 3 more game weeks, he might be someone that I'm looking to take out again. When you look at his fixtures, playing against his former club, West Ham, you're looking at them Brighton away, where you think there will be an open game. And then they've got Wolves at home. They are 3 games that I'm looking at and saying, do you know what? I'm going to hold him and see what happens. But I wouldn't put in the hold because I'm not fully confident. I'd put him in the wait category. Let's see what happens after these next 2-3 weeks. And I'll be telling you on this channel whether I'm getting rid.
I think I'm with you on that. Bournemouth, again, an extra 0. Man City, 0. Burnley, the first game, 0.06. Like, you just don't take shots kind of thing, innit? And midfielders, we know in FPL get more points for goals than assists, which is why I'm like, I've never been convinced with Kudus as an FPL asset. Of course, his ownership, by the way, 32.5%. Some of you are obviously big Kudus fans, but I've just never seen it the way I think maybe the FPL community has seen it. But let's see. I'm going to put him in wait.
And now we're talking about the most highly spoken about player in FPL, Mr. Florian Wirtz. Big signing from Bayer Leverkusen. I've had him. I've got rid. If people still have Florian Wirtz, Statman, is this the time to have him?
I'll be honest. I said it to you when you made that decision. I thought it was a bit premature, especially with the fixtures coming up for Liverpool, which are Burnley in Game Week 4, which is a brilliant fixture, then Everton. Those are the fixtures that you really want to have Liverpool assets for. And I think with Florian Wirtz, we know he's coming into a new league. He's going to take time to adjust. But the quality with Florian Wirtz is there. And I think against Arsenal, I think he had a good, especially the second half, a very, very good game in it. And we saw it for Germany the other day. He created a couple of chances, scored a free kick. The quality with Florian Wirtz is there, isn't it? The fixtures are there for now, Liverpool. Of course, it hasn't probably worked as how people would have expected the first 3 games from an FPL point of view. But I just think, listen, it
Okay,
would be silly selling now.
right. Silly selling now, but if he doesn't do anything in the next 2 game weeks, would you then be saying sell?
I think then there's a conversation to be had, isn't it?
So,
Because then game week 6.
so the answer for this would be wait then, because he's not a strong hold.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think game week 6, Liverpool have Crystal Palace. I rate Crystal Palace defensively. Game week 7, they're going away to Chelsea, who are probably one of the favourites for, let's say, top 4, maybe the title. They're one of the better sides in the Premier League. So yeah, foreign words for now is a wait, but I do understand what you're saying in terms of long term. If he don't perform the next 2 games, he has to be a guaranteed sell.
What I'll say to you people, if you're watching this, Florian Wirtz, the lights are bright.
The next player is a player I think a lot of people have, but a lot of people are unsure, and that is Ollie Watkins. Listen, the first 3 games, Aston Villa have been poor, but Ollie Watkins, the next couple of fixtures, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. Are those fixtures too good to turn down, Ty?
They are Ollie Watkins fixtures. You know when you're out and about, you might be working on a Saturday. It's a 3 o'clock game. You check your phone at 5 o'clock. You see Aston Villa scored 2 goals. Watkins goal and an assist. These are the type of games that I think Ollie Watkins can do well in. And people might say, oh, well, they had Crystal Palace at home. Last time it didn't happen. They had Newcastle at home before that. They had Brentford. I hear it and I understand it. But I think the way Aston Villa set up, very defensive with the midfielders, there wasn't really enough support for Ollie Watkins. We know he needs support. He needs people close to him. He can stretch the pitch. Now with Jadon Sancho, now with Harvey Elliott, now with Aston Villa needing to win games now after a poor start to the season, I am holding him. He is a hold for me. The next 3 game weeks, I'm willing to hold. His price is dropped. I don't want to take the risk and take him out now. I think I'm going to assess after the Fulham game. Everton is tricky, and that's going to be tricky for any team. But the Sunderland at home game and the Fulham game, they are games that I expect him to at least return in. Not one, but maybe both.
And you know what I think is very beneficial with holding Ollie Watkins? Game week 7, there's obviously a fixture swing for Arsenal where a lot of people are probably then looking at bringing in someone like Gyokores, isn't it? And I think Ollie Watkins is also that price point where it's not too far if you want to reach to Alexander Isak once he starts playing, innit?
Yeah.
That's why, of course, Ollie Watkins hasn't been firing. The fixtures are there to target over the next couple, hopefully. But then he provides a price point then to make a change.
He enables you. He enables future planning.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's a very clever point. That is why you should be subscribed here, because what you've just said there is a perfect point. It's not just about the transfer. It's about planning your team for the weeks ahead.
Hi, I'll say FPL geniuses. That's what we are, innit? So Ollie Watkins, hold.
And now we're on to the player that was the talk of FPL game week 1. But since then, quiet. Tijani Reijnders from Manchester City, a player that I really love. I really like in terms of a football player. But when it comes to FPL, there's a difference between being a good football player and being a points player. Sell, keep, or hold.
You see with Reijnders is a tricky one because I feel like I've almost been proven right because a lot of people went to him after game week 1 where I was like, I'm not convinced on Reijnders, isn't it? Because I said after game week 1, it was more of the role that he had in that Manchester City side that enabled him to perform and get opportunities to crash the boxes.
He was
that makes
playing
sense,
basically in the 10 role.
Exactly. And game week 1, for example, a lot of people, it was the Reijnders, Elliot Anderson debate. Of course, Reijnders outscored him because he got 10 points, but Elliot Anderson had a higher number of expected goal involvement that game. The last 2 games, by the way, Reijnders against Tottenham, an XG was 0.04, and expected assist numbers was 0.04. Brighton, again, 0.02 XG, and expected assist numbers was 0.12. That's why I said, I wasn't fully convinced on Reijnders just because I thought it was a lot to do with the role. I think the last 2 games has kind of proven that, especially the Tottenham game where Cherky was the one playing number 10, Reijnders was a bit deeper. But at the same time, Ty, United in game week 4, that's a good picture on paper.
I think Manchester United are good in the games that Etihad.
Maybe, but I think game week 5 is going to be very difficult with Arsenal. But in game week 6, Ty, a lot of people are looking to free hit to bring in Manchester City assets in it. But in game week 6, City have Burnley. If you have Reijnders right now in your team, I think you'll be silly selling it.
I agree. I tell you what I want to put in there, and I want to throw a caveat for people that might not know about the injury news. Game week 1 played in a number 10 role. Cherky's then come in against Tottenham, and I think played the game after that against Brighton potentially as well. But when you look at it, with Cherky now injured for a couple of months, will we now see Reijnders again playing more advanced? Is this going to give him the opportunity to get back into the role he was playing in game week 1, which is maybe why I wouldn't get rid yet, because we don't know tactically how Manchester City are going to set up. If you get rid now, he plays against United and gets a return and he's playing in the advanced role. You're then wanting him back for game week 5, game week 6. And by then, are you messing with your future planning, as we just spoke about with Watkins? I'm very intrigued to see how Pep sets up. So maybe a wait.
So the next player is Matheus Cunha, someone who a lot of people bought in for game week 3, was unfortunate to pick up the injury. But at the same time, we haven't really got an injury update. FPL currently has him yellow flag. There's a 75% chance of playing. But in game week 4, Manchester City, would you really be keeping him even if he was fully fit now?
If you're not on free hit, it might be a sell. The reason is because I feel like Cunha is going to be a very important player for Manchester United. But I think when it comes to FPL points and the price tag, I think Brian Mbeumo would have been the better option to go down. So I don't know if you want to make the transfer from Cunha to Mbeumo or wait a couple of weeks. However, I think if you can get someone else in from a different club for Cunha with the price point and with him maybe not impacting FPL points as much as you thought you would over the first 3-4 games, maybe it might be a sell. I think, you know, you look at these other options here, Reijnders, Wirtz, Kudus, Wood, Watkins, Ekitike. There's a reason, a strong reason why we've said wait or hold on them. With Cunha, I'm struggling to find the same reasons of why I would wait or hold. What about you?
For me, sell. Like, first of all, United are obviously not a great side overall. City in game week 4, Chelsea in game week 5. Game week 8, they have Liverpool. Listen, man, you might as well cash out early kind of thing, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of good midfielders to buy in FPL. Someone like a Semenya, for example. Just go sell Cunha.
Yeah. I think this one's going to be pretty easy. But Mark Guiu has gone back to Chelsea after, obviously, the injury to Liam Delap. I think it's a sell. He's not really going to get minutes. And he's just sitting there rotting on the bench.
And I think for a lot of people can't make a transfer because then Guiu takes up the 4th Chelsea slot kind of thing, innit? So they kind of have to get rid of him. And remember, guys, remember what I said on Mark Guiu versus Croupier Jr. at the start of the season. All I'm saying, Mark Guiu's also dropped to 4.4. Croupier Jr. still 4.5 and playing some minutes. I feel like I got proven right.
Now, when we made this list, there's one name that stood out for me, and it's Victor Gyokores. Is this the time to sell? Is this the time to hold? Is it the time to wait? You look at the fixtures, Nottingham Forest at home, new manager and Ange, City at home, City not firing on all cylinders, and then Newcastle away, which we always know is going to be a battle. However, after that, there is a fixture swing. I've got a feeling you might say hold and ride the wave. What are you saying, Baines, on Gyokores?
I think you're right. Listen, I feel like on paper, maybe the fixtures look harder than they actually are, if that makes sense, innit? Because I feel like these fixtures, there are some areas where Arsenal and Gyokores can target. For example, the Nottingham Forest game, we're looking at it completely differently now. Ange is in charge kind of thing, innit? From a attacking point of view, because we know Ange don't set up defensively the same way as Nuno did. Manchester City at home. Listen, we know what Gyokores did against Manchester City last year. I feel like City are still vulnerable defensively, especially on the counter. Could Gyokores get a goal? Potentially. I think Newcastle probably the hardest fixture out of the 3. Going away to Newcastle, St. James's Park. Newcastle, I think, in terms of expected goals conceded, have been the best defense in the Premier League this year. So that's something I'm looking at. But at the same time, listen, he's also potentially on penalties with Saka out.
Yeah. He is the confirmed penalty taker.
Oh, is it? So there you go.
Yeah.
I think you'll be silly selling him. I think you'll be silly waiting. I think it has to be a hold. So the next player is Wan Bissaka. I'll be honest, I think this is quite simple. Last game, he got benched with Kyle Walker-Peters playing in the back four. What do you think?
Tottenham, Crystal Palace, Everton, Arsenal. That's their next games. And for me, they concede in all 4. And going forward, Wan Bissaka is not going to give you much. West Ham are struggling. Yes, they won against Nottingham Forest, but how consistent will they be? I expect a defender like him to be conceding goals. And for me, it's a sell. Look elsewhere.
So this is our tier list for Game Week 4. Ty, thank you for joining me on this video. You probably helped a lot of people. I probably helped a lot of people. But if you want more help, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment your thoughts, and we'll be back soon.